Come as you are, soft, wild, uncertain, radiant. This message is a mirror, a portal, a prayer, not to tell you who you are, but to remind you what you already know. This reading's meant for confirmation, not to predict your future, not to predict anything. I'm your mirror to remind you what you already know. You're walking through a timeline, and this is the moment that bends. So I'm walking through this reading, hearing the song She's Got a Way About Her by Billy Joel. I don't know what it is. And the cards that are sitting in front of me from the Wild Unknown archetype are the Siren, the Maiden, and the Mirror. And at the bottom of the deck is the comic. While I was looking at these cards, what I saw in my mind was Lilith and Aphrodite. The untamed feminine. We've got trickster wisdom here, which also made me think about Sophia. This is the observer, collapsing distortion. Who is the observer? The observer, so as I'm looking at the mirror here, the observer becomes you. You are the observer. And you're collapsing distortion. And what that means is that you need to really take a look down deep inside and observe the patterns. We have a lot of 8s here. The Siren card is number 18. The Maiden is card number 8. And the Mirror is number 68. The comic doesn't fit into that pattern. The comic is card number 26, but 26 adds up to 8. Ooh, that's interesting. I didn't notice that with the comic when I was first picking these cards out. The trickster, the divine fool, it's not just random chaos. He's part of the spiral. He completes the pattern. Even disruption has order. Even the unexpected is part of the equation. So all 4 of these cards circle around the number 8. The sacred loop, the eternal return, infinite potential. Even disruption has divine architecture. These 8s, they have to do with infinite recursion and abundance. This is divine chaos as the initiator of awakening. What I'm looking at in this reading is divine feminine integration. Alright, so the next deck of cards that I pulled from, I'll keep these off to the side, we'll get back to them. The next deck, though, that I pulled from was the Starseed Oracle. And I have the cards, the Golden Children, and that says inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. And it came out with the card perspective, and it says none of this matters. Zoom out, common ground, and at the bottom of the deck was water your garden, and it says nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. And what I'm looking at here is your soul blueprint. You becoming the observer. I'm looking at the Golden Children, and like you're being asked to walk through this portal. to shift the timeline, becoming the observer. Rest and care become integration tools, and awakening is your return. I also heard the song Country Road, Take Me Home, or Take Me Home, Country Roads by John Denver. Country road, take me home to a place I belong. Alright, so then I pulled the Energy Oracle. And at the bottom of the deck is the card, Woman Holding a Coin. But on the table, I'm looking at Rest and Rejuvenation and the card Community, which made me think about the Three of Cups. But I also felt like Bacchus or Dionysus. The divine madness, the chaos, but also celebration. We've got Mother, Maiden, Crone, intuition or integration here. This is joy as ritual. This is the sacred wild. This is Lilith and Sophia merging. Lilith and Aphrodite merging. Lilith and Aphrodite, yes. Celebration as anchoring and embodied sovereignty. The integration of Mother, Maiden, Crone becomes Woman Holding a Coin. So let's take a look at the tarot. And what we start with here is the Two of Voices. And what I'm seeing here is the mirroring again. The Two of Voices is about making a choice. Making a choice. You've got to choose between the illusion and integration. The Ten of Emotions. The Ten of Emotions is you've made the choice. You chose to integrate duality to give yourself heart fulfillment. The Lovers comes out next. Again, this is about making that integration of choices. And then the Justice card. Again, more choices. What are we going to choose? We're going to choose our sovereignty, right? Because at the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Emotions. That's the Maiden and the Siren coming together. That is the Woman Holding a Coin. It's quantum superposition. This is a soul level decision. The union of the fragmented self and emotional sovereignty as your chosen timeline. I pulled more cards. And I got Temperance, the Knight of Emotions, and the Seven of Emotions. So there's the illusion. The Seven of Emotions is at the bottom of the deck. This is the Wizard of Oz, is nothing but a small little scared man standing behind a curtain pulling strings. That Knight of Inspiration, that's spirit. That's your spirit team. And Temperance, the Temperance Angel, I mean, this is all about merging, okay? We need to shift our perspective. So, if we look at these cards objectively, let's go back to the Oracle for a minute and break it down one at a time. The Maiden. This is divine feminine innocence. Purity. This is us before the world got hard. But the Siren, this is that femme fatale, like drag you off into the water. This is the sexuality that can lure men to their deaths. And the mirror is asking us to go within. So I feel like, collective, you're being asked to find balance between your innocence and your sexuality. The Siren is card number 18, and that reminds me of the moon. And the moon card is mirrored in the card, the mirror. And Lilith came through with the Siren, and it reminded me of that, that dark feminine. 18, 1 being the self, the singularity, and 8, infinity. She's got a way about her. I don't know what it is. And then the comic like points out the paradox. Because you can be this and that and still be balanced. So I have a hard time explaining this to people, but perspective and justice. I wish we had the hanged man out here, but I'm seeing so much mirroring within these cards. Perspective, yeah, none of it matters. Zoom out and common ground. I feel like when we really sit down and look objectively at our lives, we kind of need to start seeing where we're the problem. Am I the problem? No, I'm not the problem. Oh no, I'm the whole ass problem. I'm the whole ass problem. I break my own heart. I piss myself off. I irritate myself to no end. I get on my own nerves. The 7 of emotions at the bottom of the deck, and the Queen of emotions also at the bottom of the deck on both times that I pulled tarot for this reading. There's some kind of a veiled illusion here that you're not seeing divine feminine. You are being asked to slow down. Someone here is stuck in false light. You're only seeing the love and light and, you know, just be good to people and people will be good to you. And you're like, you know, just be innocent and be childlike. But part of this journey that nobody likes to talk about is that it's messy and it's ugly and it's hard. God, it's so fucking hard. You know, I've got the card Water Your Own Garden and Rest and Rejuvenation here. Like, you really are being asked to slow down. There's a lot of water on this table and not a whole lot of fire at all. But there's a little bit of air. There's a little bit of earth. So Divine Feminine is being asked to really ground into the reality that You know, you are capable of being sexy and intuitive and sovereign and whole. You're capable of being all of those things and still being able to walk in integrity. There was a message the other night about, you know, men like women who are natural. No makeup, you know, just to be what they are. But then there's some of us who have chosen self-care, and that brings me back to water your garden. When I was on this path about a year and a half ago, I made the choice to start reparenting my inner teenager. And part of that was allowing my inner teenager to find beauty in herself again. When I was in high school, there was not a day that went by that I didn't put at least eyeliner on. I did my hair, I did my makeup every morning. And this was an act of vanity, you know, as a teenager. It was an act of vanity. However, now as an adult, this becomes an act of self-care. I do this for myself. I don't do this for anybody else. I'm not competing against anybody but myself. My goal every day is to become better than I was yesterday. There was a lot of vanity pushed on me when I was a kid. My dad's mom was very much into presentation and how we present ourselves to people. And we did not leave the house without taking a bath, putting on good clothes, wearing makeup, putting perfume on. We didn't leave the house without being done up. We wanted to look our best when we were out in public. And it was, if you look good, you feel good. But it was done, it was taught to me in a way that it didn't feel right. So I made the choice to stop wearing makeup, stop brushing my hair. Just, I wear my hair in a ponytail or in a messy bun all the time. No makeup. You know, I'm in my work clothes literally 90% of the time. So there was never a need for purchasing new street clothes, because when was I going to go out of the house? I really went to work. I came home. Work, home. Work, home. That's it. So I looked homeless most of the time. I would go to the grocery store in sweatpants and a baggy t-shirt. Now, once a month, me and my daughter go and get our nails done. We spend money on makeup. We spend money on new perfume. We're doing that for us. We're not doing that for anybody else. I want to walk out in public and I want other women to look at me, and this is going to sound like an asshole move, but I literally want women to, I want to be in competition with myself, but other women look at me and go, damn, that man doesn't deserve her. And it sounds fucked up, but that's self-care to me. Because I'm not doing this for anybody but myself. I want other women to be proud. I want other women to see the work that I put in. I want that. I want my daughters to see that and be proud. To me, there is absolutely no shame in carrying all of this Gnosis within me and still being able to look pretty too. There's no shame in that. None whatsoever. So this community card, which very much looks like the Three of Cups, it's three women that are in celebration, and this is where I get, you know, where I was thinking about Dionysus and the parties and the chaos. Be in competition with yourself, not your community. Come into alignment with your true self. Let your internal Aphrodite or internal Lilith. I've been working with Lilith and the Morrigan for months, and I have a following of crows. Everywhere that I go, the crows seem to show up, and to me, that's Morrigan. The goddess of the battleground. But the ultimate goal, ladies, is for us to be this woman holding a coin, to the queen of emotions, to really, really be sitting in our sovereignty. And the only way that we can merge the Siren and the Maiden, and again, this is Maiden Mother Crone, so the only way to merge the fractured divine feminine is to take time for ourselves. And that's really where the true justice lies, where that 10 of cups, that 10 of emotions lies within our own becoming. The Golden Children card and perspective together really makes me think that there's an imbalance with the inner child. So something about the inner teenager and needing to step through this portal to look, none of it matters. There really is absolutely no point to life whatsoever except for to reawaken your God within. All God, source, the universe. And now I'm hearing it again. We make plans and God laughs. We make plans and the universe laughs. That I'm looking at the comic card. There's an energy very much of going with the flow. But it's... with temperance and justice out here on the table, I'm feeling a deep need to reparent our inner children. And parenting our inner children and inner teenagers has nothing to do with, I'm hearing, corporal punishment. It has nothing to do with correcting bad behaviors, and it has everything to do with nurturing that aspect of ourselves, being able to learn how to play. And sometimes that means playing with makeup, playing with nail polish, putting on perfume. Like, this is a big self-care journey, and us as women don't do that enough. So I want to pull a couple cards here from the Secret Oracle. No notes, nothing, just off the cuff. We have the main purpose of this morning's reading is all about becoming the observer in our own lives, to really sit, rest and rejuvenation, really sit with ourselves and figure out where we are the problem in our life. And we have to start integrating that, because the spiritual journey isn't about, it's not about all love and light and flowers and unicorn shit. It's all about ourselves and observing ourselves and integrating the shadow, working with the shadow. I'm just going to tell you a real quick story before I tell you what these cards are. I have court today, and I've been for a whole year without a vehicle, and I've been allowing my mechanic to pull the wool over my eyes and ignoring my intuition. That's that spiritual complacency that we talked about last week. I should have taken care of this mess a long time ago, but I allowed this to happen and to continue happening. Justice sitting out here on the table reminds me that it took a really long time for me to integrate my shadow, instead of keeping my shadow locked up. And now I'm bringing that shadow aspect to the courtroom, and that shadow comes out as a sword of justice. Not as aggression, not as violence, not as anything other than cutting through the veil of illusion, that wool that was pulled over my eyes for so long. That's divine feminine integration. So from the Secret Oracle, the cards that we have on the table are not so black and white. Leap of fortune and unorthodox approach. And at the bottom of the deck is the card Time to Rise. And that's the Phoenix rising, except I'm looking at this card and it's a falcon. It's Horus. Horus energy. Not so black and white. I'm looking at a zebra. Oh, there's another Wizard of Oz. The horse of many colors. Not so black and white. It's time to take a leap. Nothing is as it seems, and we need to start laughing. We need to start playing. We need to, this leap of fortune and unorthodox approach really make me think about, in quantum mechanics, when we collapse timelines, we become the observer, and the observer effect tells us that when we observe a wave, that wave has to make a choice to become a particle or stay a wave. And those waves are potential, but we collapse those waves into particles, and we collapse that potential into form. So when we really begin, Eckhart Tolle tells us that when we really begin to observe our shadow, our ego, then we can begin to integrate those lessons into our lives and become present. And it's not orthodox. It's very unorthodox. I mean, just being able to merge our internal divine feminine and masculine is a heresy in some circles. What does that mean, merging our masculine and feminine? People don't get it. The simplest explanation is always the right answer. It's time to rise, girls. It's time to rise up in our feminine energy. It is time to embrace our sexuality, embrace that siren side of us. Don't let anybody stop you from becoming who you always knew you were. When we look in the mirror and we merge our siren and our maiden, we become the queen. We become the queen. We become Queen Cersei. We become... Right, there's a Game of Thrones. We become Daenerys. We become Esther. We get to decide how we use those archetypes within ourselves. When we merge Lilith and Aphrodite and Sophia, the mother, the maiden, the crone. And that's, really when we come into our sovereignty. Is there anything else that we need the collective to know this morning, Spirit? Know your labels. And it's time. Time to rise and know your labels. And what have you been calling yourself? Is that who you really are? Is it? I am Naoma. I am a salon manager, a groomer. I am a mom. But first and foremost, I am me. I am a carrier of the violet flame that was given to me when I was 2 months old. I am the embodiment of my ancestors, and I'm the breaker of generational curses. What are your labels? All right, I'm going to leave this here, Divine Feminine. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you on the next one. Later.